Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship. Hopefully my sound isn't too loud. Hopefully I am coming clear to everyone. But yeah, welcome to another episode. I'm going to quickly shoot out a whole bunch of messages letting everyone know on the different... where'd it go? On the... I can't find it now. On the different Discords that we're going live. So if you come and join us from there, super glad that I was able to get that to you. And just sending the rest of these out. Almost done. Sweet. So let's pull up everyone. And like we like to do, we'll go ahead and say hello to everyone that's on the panel today. And before we get into it... so yeah, let's welcome our sister Marcia. Welcome, Marcia. I heard you had a little scare with your health, but trying to get that figured out. But I'm glad you're still able to join us. So, other than yeah.
Anyway, as far as CERN goes, man, I was really into CERN when it first came out, and they're way back. And now it's just kind of been faded away on me. In fact, when you were bringing up CERN, it was like, what? Yeah, okay, CERN again. But it's been years ago that I was into CERN. Years. 8. So, but anyway, so CERN's still moving on.
Yeah, it was kind of a hot topic for a while, and it seems like it kind of died off. And I kind of wanted to bring it back because those that are kind of new into the journey maybe kind of missed that, as you know, because like a lot of people that are a part of this channel are because of the biblical cosmology, right? Because the circle of the earth. And maybe they came through the biblical way, and so they didn't really have the conspiratorial mindset before. And so now we're going to kind of look at this from obviously truth seekers' minds, right? And but a lot of us at one point in time was probably black-pilled, right? We were doom and gloom definitely about CERN, right? That it was going to cause all these things. Even so as far as to say they can change the very fabric and reality that we know. Those dang Stain bears, right? And we'll dabble into... Oh, go ahead.
No, the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
And I looked at my 1611 King James where it said, I swear it said wineskins, but it says bottles, and I go, look, they can even do it in your own home. Change it.
Yeah, and so I think if maybe you were black-pilled about CERN before, maybe after this you might not be. Now there is a lot of weird stuff that is around CERN. I'm not taking away from that. There's a plethora of conspiracy theories that go along with CERN. We'll definitely talk about those, but I don't know. We'll get into it. Let's jump over to Robert. How you doing, brother? Welcome. Shabbat shalom, or shalom to you. How's it going?
Shalom. Yes, it's earlier shalom. Earlier into Shabbat shalom as the days are getting shorter. Black pilled or black hole? I mean...
or black matter.
We have not got sucked into, compressed into just a little itty bitty thing there, so we're still around. Or are we? Maybe we think we are. And as far as I know, we haven't opened up any gates.
Nope.
To whatever. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird, creepy stuff over there, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that's not shy on is creepy things around CERN. Now, we kind of already talked about atoms, right? We already kind of talked about nukes and that whole thing, and how Me at least, me personally, I don't subscribe to atoms. I don't. How can you prove something exists? How can you smash these things together if you can't even see where they are? If you don't even know where they are? If you can't even take a picture of them, how can you possibly? You know what I mean? It's like, here, shoot this bullet that no one can possibly see it, can detect it, can take a picture of it, nothing. So,
The atom bomb, splitting the atom.
boom. Yeah, but they can.
Kyle,
Oh,
I just say, Kyle, you know the answer, right? It's really good.
CGI. Oh, CGI. Oh.
Oh,
Well, sweet. Let's jump over to Kyle. Welcome, brother. Always good to see you. What are your thoughts about CERN?
Yeah, I feel like I've been through the whole ringer on that one because I used to believe that it was legitimate, totally scientific research and that they were discovering all these assets of creation and breaking down the quantum particles and all this mysterious stuff. Then I started like believing in conspiracies at a point, and I threw them together. I was like, these guys are going to kill us. They're going to open up a black hole. It's going to swallow the whole globe Earth. And
Yeah.
but at a point, at this point now, I can see all the same actors, all the same people who have been responsible for doing all the other agendas that go on around us, and it makes me at least question, whether what they're doing is totally scientific and what that even means, and whether it's legitimate or not altogether. Because, like you said, they're shooting lights at the speed of light, and supposedly hitting each other at these speeds, and then there's a screen that projects from all these sensors and gives you a little digital display of what happened, but it's not reality. It's not observed by anyone. So, yeah, CERN's kind of, it's a little interesting. They got some issues.
Yeah, there's so.
It's a mystery to me. I still don't know what it's for.
Yeah, so that I feel like that's a good time. I'm gonna read. Let me pull this over. Oh, I'm not. I'm just gonna have to make it bigger. Make this one bigger so I can read it. All right, so I'm gonna read the description real quick because I think we hit a lot of those places. And then, of course, guys, I am going to be a little sarcastic here, so bear with me. I feel like I have to mock these people. So, anyways, as humans have progressed so far as to have vast portions of the universe mapped out, having full knowledge of what is beneath their feet, they have turned their eyes to the invisible world of atoms and beyond. They smash, dismantle, and destroy the very supposed fabric of space and time with their goal of knowledge. With those same arms, they work to understand the fundamental building blocks of existence, to learn both the power of creation and destruction. The Large Hadron Collider is the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator. It first started up September 10th, 2008, and remains the largest addition to CERN's accelerator complex. Through this and other like literature, what? Okay. What did I write here? Though this and other like literature okay, I get it. Though this and other like literature exists about this complex, explaining its mission, makeup, and methods, much is left to speculation about its actual purpose. What do you think CERN's actual purpose is? Do you think they can achieve their true goal? Join us as we discuss the topic of CERN and the implications for our and future generations' lives from the perspective of believers seeking the puzzle pieces of truth. And so I kind of hit on a few things there, right? And of course, I'm mocking in the beginning. It's like they've already mapped out the stars, right? They already can go to the moon and land rovers on Mars, right? They already know everything, every single feet below us, right? They know we have a metal core. They even know that the metal core stopped turning, guys. I don't know if y'all saw that. But
You stop turning and go the other direction, apparently.
Yeah. Totally wouldn't have any effect on anything of their model, but anyways, so they know everything, but so now they have to go and look at these things that are invisible, right? They have to explore the quantum realm for their desire, like it said, of wanting to have control over creation and destruction. If they can destroy on the atomic level, can't they build on the atomic level? And they're almost trying to reverse engineer, at least is what they say they're doing. So real quick, let's get a couple things out of the way. So of course it automatically plays. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find, there was that video that someone sent about the logo, but maybe that was one that I dropped.
Oh.
We'll come back to it.
The 666.
Yeah, I'll just pull it up like this. Okay. Let's do a little bit of screen sharing. So for those that don't know or have never looked into it, CERN is the complex where they have the Large Hadron Colliders. And I just searched learn CERN logo, and we brought this up. And those that have eyes, you see, I literally said CERN logo, and this is even up there, right? The European Organization for Nuclear Research. Nuclear research? Interesting. But yeah, you got the 666, and that is how the colliders are made, right? Like, that is literally showing they send down the particle through and it loops around, right? And it keeps gaining speed. And yeah, so
So it's spackles.
Right, so just right there, that's kind of weird, right? But I feel like they can easily obfuscate, because it's like, what are you talking about? It's just the shape of our colliders. This is how they're built, right? Yeah, coincidentally, they look like sixes, but these are our Hadron Colliders, and we put them all in the logo. And so they do those things for those that have C to be like, hey, look. And then those that still have the scales on their eyes, right? Oh, I meant to click this. Those that still have the scales on their eyes, see, like, y'all are crazy. You think that they really would just put 666 in the logo? And even if it is true that they did so, people can easily dismiss it, because it's like, no, that's just that's just the construction of the actual thing. So, as you see, I got plethora of things to share concerning this topic, and it will definitely be a fun topic. But before we get into that, I am gonna do a little housekeeping, guys. But I'm gonna shore it up a little bit. I'm gonna make it a little quicker than I normally have done it, and hopefully I can continue with this into the future. Doesn't seem like, I do appreciate, and I'd still ask people to comment, but when we don't get comments, it's kind of a block in the road. So I appreciate all those that give comments. We appreciate it. It really does help the channel grow. But I still want to shout out Take on the World. So go check out Take on the World. If you're watching over on the Take on the World, you missed last episode 26. That is because I have a new setup. It didn't actually go stream there. So after this is over, I'm going to be uploading episode 26 if you're interested in seeing. But also, if you're on Take on the World and you want to support us, we have our own YouTube. We're also live on Take on the World. Check me out on Vader Bear, and also check out the Circle of the Earth Fellowship channel on there as well. We do have merch if you'd like to support us. Link is in the description. You get something, and you get some merch, and you support the channel. And then I also want to shout out to Kyle and Marsha and newly Robert for doing the level 1 over on Take on the World. That's $5 a month, and it just is a reoccurring thing. Obviously helps support the channel, and appreciate y'all that do that. And then last but not least, we are on Discord. So if you're interested in joining the panel for the Circle of the Earth Fellowship episodes, or if you want to join us for the after shows after the episodes, or just to a community you can talk to and share stuff with, all those links are in the description below. All right, let's get out of that. Pull this back up. And so, yeah, let's take a little time. I know we've kind of already briefly talked about it, but from where you were then, and Robert, you may be different because Robert is kind of a good example of this, right? He's come into Torah. He was Christian, right? He's come into Torah. He came into biblical cosmology, and a lot of these conspiracy theories, and I feel like I'm pretty right on this, Robert. Correct me if I'm wrong. But a lot of these kind of conspiracy theories are things that you've never heard of, that, or you maybe have heard in mentioning or someone else to talk about it. So I want to jump over to you real quick because you kind of don't match this. But you said something funny, right? Like you're a new person coming into these truths. Let's say you hear someone talking about this. What are you going to do? What'd you do, Robert, to kind of figure out what CERN was about and what we were going to talk about? And kind of tell us about your experience.
So, you're right in the aspect of, I think a lot of y'all folks have come from, what?
You can't
He's
hear
low.
him.
He's low.
Marcia says I'm low.
Is it just he's not talking loud enough, or is it in Discord for you? Because I can hear him.
Oh, I don't. It's in here in Discord for me, but everybody's low.
Okay.
Even Kyle. Am I low?
No, you sound fine. Everyone sounds fine to me, but chat, if y'all are having issues hearing any of us, please let us know in the chat, and we'll try to get that corrected. But for now, keep going with what you were saying, brother.
Yeah, keep going.
All right, so I think a lot of you all came over from Truther, like even like say Bob Skiba. I mean, I didn't know. You all knew Bob Skiba before I did. When I started digging into Rob. So when I when the vid hit and we started watching more of these videos because we couldn't go to church. That's when we started connecting with all these people, because we were already being Torah pursuant.
Mm-hmm.
And Teresa was looking into certain things, and I know when CERN first come out, we were catching some of the vibe on that. But some of the other ones, yeah, some of these other things, like, you talk about these trees and all that, the giant trees. I mean, I know I had no clue about that. But yeah, the... starting with going from stopping Christmas and Easter and all that, and having that where you allow yourself to question your beliefs that you had for years. And I say allow because a lot of people will defend their beliefs because this is what the way it is. It's how I've been taught.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, and you really don't have a leg to stand on. And so once you start to allow yourself to open up that Pandora's box, then you start seeing some of these other things, and then you see what the government's been doing, and it was always God, country, spouse and all that. So now it's like, I don't know what it is anymore, But this whole certain thing came up, and it was like, I think when it first came out, we were all pretty much worried about what would really happen. As far as I read, I don't think that they really knew what was really potentially going to happen. Once you go and split this atom, collide and split, what in the world's going to happen, right?
Yeah, and they even made remarks as such, right? Like, we could create a black hole. We don't know what's going to happen. We could be communicating with, interdimensional beings. We don't know, right? And so, but, I guess we got to find out for science. Let's find out for science. And so, And I think that's good, right? Like what you especially talked about when it comes to humbling yourself, right? I like to call it like a gut check, where it's like you have to allow yourself to be checked in order to progress, because if you get used to just believing what everything's, it's, I guess that's easy, but right, I don't think you feel have a very fulfilled life, because seeking truth, I think, is a core part of the human experience. And some people like to give over that responsibility to other people. You just tell me what's true, and that's as far as I need to go, right? And like you were saying, some people won't allow, and that's just because they like their comfort. They like, they like believing in the lies that they do, right? Even though they're going to perish for that, as Scripture says. So it's crazy, and it's definitely a topic where, like, this is one of those topics where we can't come to the end of it and be like, okay, this is what it really is, or even speculate. This is all speculation, because we don't really know what those machines are. Me, again, I don't believe in the atom materialism. Therefore, these machines make even less sense to me. Now, they're obviously doing something, right? Because they're spending millions and billions and who knows, trillions of dollars in this area with these machines. But they have to do something. But are they doing what they claim? I have my doubts. So let's jump over to you, Kyle.
I don't know.
Let's jump over to you, Kyle. What are your thoughts about CERN, and kind of from where you used to be to kind of where you are now, and your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I used to believe that it was, like I said before, it was like a totally scientific endeavor that, was sought out to learn the secrets of the universe, like they all
Yeah.
claim. But now, at this point in my walk, I see it as a possibly a satanic occult technology, potentially passed down by the Watchers or whatever, to breach a realm, or to somehow summon entities. That there is a demonic
Mm.
overtone behind it that has to do with bringing these entities into the forefront. I don't know exactly how that operates, and I'm not going to speculate that there's some kind of connection to the bottomless pit or something like that. But it's very possible that there's a reason that it's located in the place that it's in, and the rituals they have surrounding it, and the statues. It's yeah, it's a little too much. I don't believe in coincidences
It's
like that.
nefarious. I guarantee it.
Something bad's going on there. Oh,
You're
you're muted.
muted. You're muted,
muted.
Vader.
Okay, there we go. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay. So one thing, yeah, it's at the very least they're doing nefarious things, right? Just all the weird stuff surrounding it, the 666 of the logo, how dare I? There's just so many weird examples, and we're gonna look at that. Yeah, we're definitely gonna look at the Shiva here. Well, I haven't let you go, Marsha. You kind of give it a little tidbit, but from where it was, where were you, a couple years ago to where you are now, specifically with CERN? I know that you used to be black-pilled in it and thinking that, they had so much power over creation. I will say this real quick. I just thought of something to Kyle, and then I'll come back to you, Marsha. Kyle, I've thought about that, right? Like some type of demonic gate, like them, but if we read Jubilees, right, we know that God sealed 9/10 of them away in Tartarus. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible that they undo that, but that 9/10 kind of seems to me, at least from my view, to come into play with the locus of Revelation 9. And you hinted Revelation 9:11, right? Kind of that thing. But I think we definitely have some interconnection here of what you're saying. I think we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I wondered about that same thing, but I thought about Jubilees, I thought about Enoch. they were put away. Can that be undone? If it can be undone, then it was meant to be undone, right? Like it's not they didn't do anything miraculous, right? God had let that be happen, right? But yeah, anyways, back to you. Go ahead, Kyle, and then to Marcia.
Like I said, I wasn't going to speculate on that because I've thought about those things and brought that into account. But it doesn't necessarily like demean the fact that they can potentially use it as a conjuring tool
Or communication.
or communication or something like that. It doesn't have to be like people always go to the extreme with things, like it's got to be
A Stargate.
Stargate.
Yeah, or Stargate. Yeah, it's the Tower of Babel 2.0. It's something like that. But really, it could be much simpler than that. So
yeah. Sweet. So where you at with CERN, Marcia?
Well, I really don't know. I really believed it was the opening a black hole, opening up entities to come in. That was my way back thinking. And then that Shiva,
Mm-hmm.
it's nefarious and it's occultic because they have that statue of Shiva. And they even did a mock, I don't even know that it was a mock sacrifice in front of it. And there's just, it's just not good. What it's really going to do. And that's not the only collider.
Mm-hmm.
There's many colliders.
Yeah, isn't that kind of interesting, right? Like that there are all these Hadron Colliders, but just these get mentioned. It kind of reminds me of the pyramids, right? Where there's literally thousands and thousands of pyramids all across the world, yet they only focus on the pyramids at Giza.
Right.
And I wonder, like, we talked about pyramids last and that technology. Of course, CERN goes right into technology. And something like I really want to mention, like in Robert's background, right? You have those pipes, right? They didn't have to do the pipes that way. They could have used those other walls. But if you look at it, they did it right on the corners of each. And that makes purposeful symmetry. It makes purposeful symbols within it in itself. And, most people look at that and they're just like, oh, they're pipes. But no, they're using... That's like the star of Saturn right there, right? Star of Saturn, Jupiter, same thing as the evil one. So there's all these weird connections, to it. Go ahead.
Also something that I remember reading and way back, and I even had a picture. I put it up for Sean in Facebook somewhere. But they have these big glass plates with the Hebrew language, the blah, 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 blah. They have Sanskrit and all this. And I don't know I can't remember whether
it is in CERN.
Or it is in CERN.
It's like their offices. It's like their offices, like their glass offices. I'm pretty sure it's like literally like decoration.
All the languages.
Yeah.
And was one of them. Ooh, my battery is low. Oh.
Yeah, so okay, let's jump to that because we actually have some about the things you just mentioned. So let's pull those up real quick. I have so many things for this show.
Well, yeah, CERN's, yeah.
There's so much. Okay, so you mentioned CERN, right, and the Shiva statue. So let's make this bigger. So this is on CERN on their page, and CERN Accelerating Science, and this was from 2004, July of 2004, and just going to read this real quick. Lord Shiva statue unveiled. On 18th of June, CERN unveiled an unusual new landmark, a 2-meter tall statue of Indian deity Lord Shiva. The Director General and Dr. Guy watched as Mr. Guy signs the guest book. The statue is a gift from India celebrating CERN's long association with India which started in 1960s and continues strong today. It was unveiled by the Director General, His Excellency Mr. K.M., Ambassador to the World Trade Organization, Geneva, and Dr. Whatever, Chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission and Secretary, Department of Atomic Energy, India. In the Hindu religion, this form of the dancing Shiva is known as the Najali and symbolizes Shakti, or life force. As a plaque alongside the statue explains, the belief is that Lord Shiva danced the universe into existence, motivates it, and will eventually extinguish it. Carl Sagan drew the metaphor between the cosmic dance of Naraji and the modern study of the cosmic dance of subatomic particles. Kind of weird, right? There's so many. Okay, let's just finish it.
Kind of. Very.
The statue was made in India. The original sculptor was a wax model around which a soil mold was made. Melting the wax left a hollow into which the liquid metal was poured. Once cold, the mold was split and the statue polished and was given its antique finish. The statue is on permanent display in the square between buildings 39 and 40. There's probably some gravel there. 3 9s,
Yeah.
3 6s, and 40. And short distance from the main building. So let's see if we can click on this picture and see if it'll give us a bigger picture. I doubt it. This record has been deleted. Oh, unclassified documents.
Oh.
Ooh, I bet we could get into some trouble in here. But yeah, so you alluded to that. We talked about that. And this is another thing you talked about. Scientists allegedly performed mock human sacrifices to god Shiva at CERN, near Hadron Collider. Shot from a nearby building is a mock human sacrifice, something you don't expect at the European Organization for Nuclear Research known as CERN, home to the world's biggest particle physics lab and the Large Hadron Collider. Shot from a nearby building is a mock human sacrifice, something you don't expect at the European Organization for Nuclear Research known as CERN, home to the world's largest particle physics lab and Large Hadron Collider. CERN is now investigating the video filmed at night and on its Giovanni campus depicting a mock ritual human sacrifice, a spokesman said Wednesday. Okay, yeah, all the videos on these are privated, are deleted. Very hard to find this video. I wasn't able to find it. Maybe one of you guys found it.
You did, yeah. It's actually in one of them that I uploaded.
That you uploaded? Okay, let's go through that.
It's
Think
called Mocking Sacrifice at CERN.
right here. No.
What do you mean? They're taking them down?
Oh, is this it?
They're... Oh, man. They're scrubbing things, huh?
Anomaly Patris Spiritus Sancti.
I don't want to hear it. No, 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 no.
Look at how they put like the light so that it casts this like
yeah.
wicked shadow.
Demonic all the way.
I wondered, wait, just real quick, because there's a light here, 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 and here, so I wonder if it's like casting 4 different shadows. Like obviously it would, right?
Well,
sorry.
some look
Sorry about
amber.
the language.
Language, sorry.
The guy that's on here, listen, he's obviously like, what am I watching right now? And they can't say, they literally can't say, we don't know who these are. You think that anyone can just walk onto this,
Yeah.
this complex? No way.
No way. This is...
So weird.
It's... Did we do the tunnel? That tunnel video? Back when? I remember.
I don't remember.
It's just as demonic.
Part of
Yeah.
it.
that Goth, no, Gath or whatever tunnel with all those rituals. Oh, the flying, big-headed, whatever.
I wish we had more commentary by the guy. He's like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
He doesn't act like that was a mock. That person better get up. He's like, I'm not sticking around to find. Oh, what was that? Oh, what was that? Did y'all see that?
That
No.
was like
Oh, yeah.
it always looked like an eyeball,
It looked like an owl eyeball.
an owl, but it was like I thought
But
it was the CERN, a picture of CERN.
But he is
Yeah.
freaking out,
Yeah.
isn't he? Taking
That-
a picture of that.
Oh yeah, that's like he's not. That's not like, hey, go up there and act like you're freaked out. Like he was genuinely like, wait, what the hell am I watching?
Oh,
And when
man.
when then they pulled up the knife, you could hear him go like, and then when he starts starts making that downward motion, he's freaking out and runs. Like that doesn't seem like a mock sacrifice to me. That's weird, bro. That is so weird. So yeah, they have all of that jazz going on over at CERN, and again, there's no. Let me pull this down.
Nothing nefarious here.
There's no. What can they possibly say? It said in that article they're going to do an investigation. Oh, you're going to investigate yourself, and let me guess, there's no follow-up article about what you found out, right? If there is, it's like, oh, unknown people made their way onto and did a mock sacrifice. It's like, okay, well, where's that lady? Can that lady kind of come out and say, hey, I'm okay, they didn't stab me? Like,
Yeah. Stand up and say, see, all of.
yeah.
It's just.
Go ahead.
I was saying, yeah, someone come up and say it was just a joke. We're all okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so weird. Okay, so let's dabble into some of the kind of crazier stuff. Or no, actually, let's do this. Let's start out with a brief. We're gonna read from this after, but let's start out. I gotta find it. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Sorry, I had these in a certain order. Okay, here we go. We're going to watch a little bit of this, not all of it. I just want to say something real quick. How they have all these exploding and they can tell all the directions, right? They have that visual for it. It's like they can't even see the atom, but they can somehow tell you all the directions that when it breaks apart, all those smaller parts, they can tell you where those go. That's so dumb.
Really good engineering.
We don't have to do that anymore. He's got a faster computer.
They say they can't hear it. So no sound.
Sorry, everyone. I'm working on getting that audio. Okay, here we go. I apologize. Jump back just a little bit.
No, I don't know a few people. It was terrible. Tomorrow's will be better. I don't think I can fix it. I need evidence. It's big, no? Ever since I entered physics, people have been talking about this machine. The Large Hadron Collider, the biggest machine ever built by human beings, is finally going to turn on. And after many, many years of waiting and theorizing about how matter got created and about what the deep fundamental theory of nature is, all those theories are finally going to be tested. And we're going to know something. And we don't know what it's going to be now, but we will know, and it's going to change everything.
Spoiler, it hasn't.
If these new particles, we're on the right track. And if it doesn't, not only have we missed something, but we may not ever know how to proceed. We are at a fork in the road, and it's either going to be a golden era, or it's going to be quite stark. And I've never heard of a moment like this in history, where an entire field is hinging on a single event. Hi, I'm David Fabiola. Nice to meet you.
So, look, I have suggested to be on this side because this big wheel is quite spectacular. More than ever, this will require the collaboration between
It's kind of scary that they don't even
so
know.
It will be a very nice period where we'll work.
Isn't that weird, right? Like they're like, we don't know exactly what this machine is gonna do. It kind of hints towards what Kyle was saying with them getting this information not from their own minds, but either something written down, something possessed. Who knows? But yeah, very weird that they don't even know.
Yep.
Or at least won't say.
Together and
Well, it's fun to finally interact with experimentalists. I mean, I used to be just in my office coming up with crazy
you have
ideas.
to come and make your calculations here in front of this big instrument.
Right,
yes,
that
to
would
get
be
inspired. Yes.
Big thing. There is a general sense waiting for this machine to start, this massive machine that has taken so many years to build. We are all in great anticipation of what it might find. And every time there's even a rumor that a new particle is discovered, even before it turns on, the entire field goes into a fever pitch. The experiment was designed initially in the mid-'80s and has taken this long to construct. There are 10,000 people of over 100 nationalities. That includes countries which are mortal enemies of each other, like India and Pakistan and Georgia and Russia and Iran and Israel, all have physicists working on this machine. These big blue things are 7-ton superconducting magnets, which have to be cooled with liquid helium to the coldest temperatures on Earth, colder than empty space. There are 100,000 computers connected all over the world to deal with the data. In fact, the World Wide Web was invented at CERN so that
Right.
physicists all over the planet could share the
Stream
data.
unavailable.
Ruh-roh. Did you just get a policy violation?
Policy violations.
Ugh,
That's just temporary.
is it?
I don't know, because other people, sometimes the stream goes down and then it comes back on from playing a video for too long or something and not.
What's funny is that it's not that way over on Take on the World. It's just on Circle of the Earth.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Really?
everyone head upgrade to Circle or Take on the World.
Yep, Take on the World is totally fine, but over here we're not allowed to play those things.
Oh, yeah, they're graveled. You're for sure graveled.
Okay, well, sorry to all of those on Take on the World and over on Lighthouse that are watching. Those on Circle on the Earth, we're just going to stop playing this video and hopefully it goes away and it'll come back and we can start talking about some of this other stuff. While I'm waiting for the stream to come back, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now. Pull up my video. Isn't that so weird that a channel that has less viewers is getting hit when a channel with more subscribers is not? It makes no logical sense to me.
That's your fix. I don't know. You've been targeted.
It kind of feels like that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's gonna come back or not. I'm just gonna wait. I apologize to everyone for this. I think it will eventually come back.
Really?
Yeah, it should. Of course, there's probably going to be 5 viewers by the time it does come back, but...
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. There was no, no warning, just, a minute and a half of video, and yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, and again, why on just my channel?
Yeah,
I know.
because you're targeted.
Your stream is no longer being blocked due to copyright issues, so I think it's coming back.
Really?
Just verifying that it is coming back. It says your stream is no longer being blocked due to copyright issues. That's what it says on YouTube. So hopefully it comes back on YouTube. I will keep watching it and doing it. They can't even hear me, unless they're over on Take on the World, which people did. People jumped over to Take on the World because it's working over here. So ridiculous. That makes zero logical sense in my mind.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Nothing in this world makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
show.
it's also still on Lighthouse.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna show everyone real quick. Stream not available. Stream still up. Says your stream is no. Oh, y'all saw that, right? Pause it. It said your stream is no longer being blocked. And now it says excellent connection instead of my stream is no longer being blocked. So let's see if it comes back up yet.
It doesn't for me. It says stream suspended, policy violations on my end.
Sorry, everyone. This is so dumb. Of course. A freaking course. I'm going to try to go back. Go back in. Just show me that it up so I can continue talking.
The logo.
Well,
And so they do those things for those that see to be like, hey, look.
You have to go ahead a little.
And Teresa was looking at certain things.
Well, that's in the past. It probably cut the stream. I don't know if the stream is just straight up gone. Does it still? It still says it's live, right?
Yeah, you can refresh it and it still pops back up. So if it was suspended permanently for the whole episode, it would like can't stop the stream. I've been saying.
Let's go like this. Working on it, guys. Please bear with me.
We bear with you. We know we have technical.
It says Enoch Part 6 is live. Oh no, it just says I am live. Okay. Let's see if I visit channel. Okay, it says I'm live. Nope, it
I
still
don't
says
think
stream
you're on.
unavailable.
Yeah, your lighthouse is done.
What do you mean Lighthouse is done?
It's got a big old X on it. Media playback was aborted due to corruption problem or because the media used speakers your browser does not support.
It's still going live for me.
Let me refresh. Never mind. I think it's because I had to refresh. I don't know.
Weird.
Of course.
There's all types of weirdness going on right now. Okay. So,
keep going? Or
yeah, I guess, like, I don't know what else to do. I guess everybody jump over on to take on the world. We'll finish it there since we're not going to be grappled. It's going to look like there's 0 watchers there. I guess you could stay here and keep refreshing. But for whatever reason, like it literally said on my screen, your stream is no longer being blocked. And then it says excellent connection, and then it's still not it's still not letting me stream from my channel. Like, what is going on? Okay, let's just continue. Go over on Take a World. We'll have the conversation there since YouTube won't let it have us on our small channel. So let me bring this back up. This is from the World Economic Forums. This is 7 things you didn't know about CERN, the strange world of particle physics. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Super surprising facts about ambitious project. 1. The Large Hadron Collider is colder than space. Yeah, no one believes that. The Higgs boson isn't the God particle, it's the goddamn particle. Ooh, so witty, WEF. Oh my god. So dumb. We are still at least 95% ignorant, but we know the Earth is a globe. The World Wide Web was born at CERN. Interesting. CERN costs the equivalent of a cappuccino a year per European. We'll read this. Science on the scale doesn't come cheap. CERN's annual budget for 2016 is 1.1 billion euros. Wow. See, they're spending lots of money. What does that mean? As well as inspiring geeks, big science has intrigued big business. But even the world's biggest science experiment can't be stopped by weasels. Yes, weasels. NASA. Oh, wait. No, it's talking about animals. I thought it was talking about NASA for a second. It says in April 2000. By
actually got into CERN and screwed it up.
Oh, they lost power after a nefarious rodent. It's the rodents that are nefarious. This followed an unfortunate incident in 2009 when a bird dropped a bit of baguette onto the electrical equipment and caused a power outage. What? So dumb. Okay. Alright, let's jump over to some of y'all's stuff. Symmetry, CERN, opera dance film. Okay, let's check this out. This was from you, Kyle? No, this is from...
this is that movie they made, or the little, like, short movie they made about, you know, it was apparently a reflection of what was going on there. So, we'll see how interesting it is.
Okay, let's check it out. I gotta go back there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I wonder what all that is. Nothing. Just keep going.
Oh my god.
What type of drugs do these people do?
They're on trances. They're going into a trance.
Hey, look how flat that horizon is, by the way.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Where's the curve?
Oh my God! For CERN? For CERN?
All of it's evil.
Dear Lord. Freaking weirdos. All right, let's check out some of these shorts. I'm gonna have to mute it because I'm gonna definitely get in trouble for that song.
Are we back on Circle of the Earth?
Don't look like it.
Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist at CERN, invented the World Wide Web in 1989. The web was originally conceived and developed to meet the demand for atomic information sharing between scientists and university and institutions around the world.
Where do you get this knowledge?
Yeah. Sorry, there's no music, guys. It will just get us in trouble. Let's see what he has to say.
I think it's in like that first Thor movie, and they're looking at the constellations, and he said something about magic and science, and science is just...
He said, your ancestors called it magic, you call it science. Where I come from, they're one and the same.
Yes.
So the thunder god is telling her that they're both the same. It's like the difference between science and magic, for the most part, is if I can explain it to you, it's science. If I don't, it's magic.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
You think about so the science is all about numbers. The witchcraft is all about numerology. The witchcraft is all about signs and sigils. And then the science is about geometry. You guys like making the connections here? A great example of this is like everyone like asking about CERN. What the heck are they doing at CERN? Why is there statues to Shiva there? You know, if this is a scientific place.
Right.
Why do they have Dark Matter Day there on October 31st, Halloween?
Yeah.
Samhain. Why is the site where there's a temple to Apollyon?
Right.
Maybe things have not changed.
Yeah.
Maybe these things are still a little bit magical. And you understand, like, again, like, so you get to the NASA stuff, it's like, well, why don't I trust NASA? It's like, because they're a bunch of occultists. Like, why do they name their rockets after Apollo and Saturn and Artemis and Gemini and just think of a pagan god's name. It's like, you wouldn't think they would name him after Moses, would they? Here's the Apostle Paul rocket.
Yeah.
They haven't done that yet, have they?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Such a good video. That made so many good points. And let's actually talk about that a little bit, because that's something really interesting. So the CERN sits above Saint Guineas Polii. Probably horribly butchering that. But this is in German, and it's in German for a reason, because I found this this right here, and this is the English one. And it doesn't, I was looking for something very specific about the site that this spot sits on, and for some reason I couldn't find it. But you see the part of the Adelon Valley which is found in the Tory commune constitutes a natural zone, interesting ecology, fauna, and flora. But over here, and you actually have to go, I had to use this, let me find it. This, what, is it this one? Yeah. So this, I found this comment said, I'm sorry I'm 10 years late with my response, but I think that the wait was necessary. Concerning the Large Hadron Collider, many observers could not help but notice the tower in France where CERN is partially situated is called St. Genius Pauli. The name Pauli comes from the Latin Apolliacum, and is believed that in Roman times a temple existed in the honor of Apollo, and the people who live there believe that it is a gateway to the underworld. It is interesting to note that CERN is built on the same spot. Religious leaders, always suspicious of the aims of the scientific world, drew a connection to a verse straight out of Revelation 9:1, 2 through and 11, which makes a reference to Apollyon. The verse states, "To him was given the key of the bottomless pit, and he opened up the bottomless pit, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon." Tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. So back, this person had to use. Let me find that other. Sorry, I had a couple right here. So it was. So it said, I had a bit of a search for the St. Genius Pauli Temple of Apollo connection and found nothing on Wiki. Then I searched Apollican and found a German wiki entry with it mentioned. Decided to check the Wayback Machine and got this. It was in 1887 that the actual name St. Genius Pauli first appeared on the state civil registry. Previously, St. Genius Pauli was called Pauli St. Genius. Before that, the two towns were separately identified. The spelling St. Genius has been quite frequently used. Pauliae was a little Roman city which probably took its name from the Latin Apollicum. In Historical Atlas, G. Dummerberg placed Philicum in the epoch of the second reign of the whatever, and he placed the church of Pauli St. Genius on the religious maps. In these previous Prevas, he cites a text of 993, which mentions Philicium. A diary of 1698 mentions a certain Belzethard as a noble of Paragon. In the Pays de Gax, perhaps this is the name given during the epoch in the current hamlet of Pennigan. Between 1601 and 1789, mention is made of the Barian of St. Gendius. Names of the area with a Gallio-Romantic origin, polycum, derived with the suffix acum from the root word pallius or polius. It is probable that under the Roman occupation, the church in the village was dedicated to Apollyon. So, of course, they scrubbed this from all the things. And we know they do this. We know that we've seen videos that we can't find anymore. We know that we've found articles, images that we can't find anymore. And here's a perfect example of someone trying to look this information up. Someone said, hey, CERN is built on the Temple of Apollo. People go look it up, and what do they find? They find snoops. They find all of these quote-unquote what are they called? Fact checkers. And the truth is, with the Wayback Machine, you can literally find where they changed this information. So, yeah.
They're starting to scrub the Wayback on something, so maybe. At least that's what I heard.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So let's jump over here. This is a quick article. This is from somebody's hub, but I found it. I thought it was pretty cool. And this is we're going to do a little bit of reading talking about the same thing. So it says, I cannot help but continue my research into CERN, and I hope that my reader will stay on with me on this. I have previously mentioned that CERN is located in a place that was once called Apollycum in a Roman times, where they believe there was a gateway to the underworld. The current name of the location of CERN is St. Guinea's Polyland. According to the website Permiti.com, this town name was first used in 1887 and is made up of two habitations of genus Empolii. Polii, interesting, was a little Roman city which probably took its name from the Latin Apollicum. Furthermore, names of the area with a Gallo-Romantic, okay, we just read that, is probable under the name it was dedicated to Apollyon. Wikipedia comes up with more information, which also makes an interesting link with the location and with Alice and Atlas colliders spoken about in an earlier post. A large portion of CERN, the European Laboratory for Particle Physics, is located within the territory of St. Guineas Polii. The Atlas experiment is located on the peripheral of the town, and the main entrance to the primary CERN campus and the Atlas experiment are located only 3 kilometers from the center of St. Guineas. CERN is the world's largest fundamental physics research laboratory, and its presence has largely been responsible for development of community of St. Guineas since the middle of the 1960s. So it's giving you a little thing. This is the Hadron Collider. It's right over France and Switzerland. You have Atlas Project. Okay, it says, remember how I wrote about Alice at CERN in the connection with the Lewis Carroll's Alice Through the Looking Glass? It is Alice who steps through the mirror portal into another world dimension. So here is something interesting I found out about the use of gravitational wave detectors. First, here's a bit of background about these detectors. Excuse me. The Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, LIGO, is a pair of enormous research facilities in the United States dedicated to detecting ripples in the fabric of space-time, known as gravitational waves. Such signals come from massive objects in the universe and provide astronomers with an entire new window to observe cosmic phenomena. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Interesting, in the 1960s and 70s, researchers built prototype gravitational wave detectors using free hanging mirrors that bounced a laser between them. If a gravitational wave passed through the apparatus, it would wiggle the fabric of spacetime and cause the mirrors to move ever so slightly. This device, known as an interferometer, is still the basic unit inside today's gravitational wave detectors. Not that it means anything at all, but the bit about the mirrors caught my imagination. The laser would wiggle the fabric of space-time. If it can wiggle space-time, is it possible to time travel? Now, reader, you think I have a touch of the Mad Hatter. Carl Sagan gave an interesting interview to Nova about time travel in 1990s during the making of the production Time Travel. Sagan: there have always been toy experiments in such at which the moment that the time machine is actuated, the universe conspires to blow it up, which has led Hawking's, Professor Stephen Hawking, and others to conclude that nature will contrive is so that the time travel never in fact occurs. So, did you conclude that nature will contrive it so that time travel never in fact occurs? Oh, so nature, something outside of just materialism, is causing it to not happen? But no one actually knows what it is. Okay, I'm not going to read all this. But yeah, he goes on to say, all this stuff about causing wormholes and all this jazz. Now, I don't go along with this, but it's interesting enough. It says here, as I have already mentioned, demons can slip through portals, but this is not a conspiracy, as the Bible shows these type of interdimensional, unexplainable moments occurring. Here are some Bible verses that show it. And it came to, and this is from 2 Kings 2, 11 through 12. It says, and it came to pass, as they still went and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha watched, and he cried, my father, the chariots of the horsemen of Israel. And he saw Elijah no more. Oh, that means he died. But anyways, so they're basically, I don't know. Could they be? I don't know. I don't want to necessarily get into that too far But yeah, really interesting stuff around the place that it was. So not only do they have these weird things, right, like associated with it, the mock human sacrifices, the underground tunnels, which we'll look at in a second, but they also have the location is super weird. Okay, I'm gonna have to refresh this to show it. And of course, like, it's acting over on YouTube. It's acting like they should be receiving data, but it's still blocked on my stream. So how awesome.
Everything is?
No, just on Circle of the Earth.
Everything though?
Yeah, no, it won't. Yeah, it won't show. It won't show. It's actually saying, "Hey, we're not getting enough data from you," as if I'm not sending it to them. It's literally blows my mind that okay, I can't. I'll just. So we already watched this video, but I think it's the same one. Yeah. Does it show the person running off? Yeah, he's freaking out, man. He's freaking out. Okay. So yeah, we've seen all this stuff with the occult, with pagan religions. Let's see what Woodward TV has to say.
What if I told you that CERN...
On some of those, you can speed them up to 125 and still understand them.
What if I told you
if
that
you
not
need
only
to
is CERN a
do
product
that
of the occult,
to any
but
of the
more
videos,
specifically,
actually, I
the
find,
Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
if they're too slow in speaking,
Things just got a bit more interesting, haven't they? You see, CERN is very good at creating elaborate, expensive experiments, but what they are even better at is compartmentalization. And the reason they are so good at this is because they've been doing this before most of us were even born. You know, this organization thinks that it can keep us in the dark. It thinks that it can hide these things from us, and at the same time mock us, provoke us, and throw its occult-loving agendas right in our face, thinking we're too stupid to understand anything anyway. Who do you think is the instigator of these conspiracy theories surrounding CERN? It's CERN. They are the ones talking about creating black holes and antimatter, smashing particles. It is CERN that has recorded performing a mock ritual in front of the statue of Shiva. It was on their campus, with their people. They are the ones who put the statue up in the first place. They are the ones publishing April Fool's jokes every year, and then turn around laughing at us if we fall for it and put it out on the internet. They are the ones that started the internet, so they know exactly what the dynamics are when it comes to people spreading rumors and speculation. And they know what to put out there on the internet and what to keep off the internet. But folks, never forget, everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds will be exposed.
I'm not a huge fan of the spooky music.
Every minute of every day.
Okay, I just want to say something. Isn't it kind of weird that he just talked about the occult and then he's doing this, the good inside, and the first thing we see her doing is literally doing the pose? Like, what?
Every day, your body heals with metal zeolite. Take a notepad and write this down. Remember it. CERN has this huge campus with thousands of scientists coming and going all the time. They shut things down, they start things up, they shut things down, and then they start things up again. While they continue to expand on their project, they keep us all in this crazy loop. The scientists there don't really know what's going on either, believe it or not. The people in charge don't really know. They are just put in charge of experiments where the idea was already in place. All they have to do is execute CERN's plans. For example, do you know who came up with the idea of digging a circular tunnel to where they can smash particles together? Well, after you've been digging around for some time, you find out that it's a question that has no answer. All they can tell you is that it was the result of collaborative efforts involving thousands of scientists. And when you ask,
So you're telling me thousands of scientists just got all these countries to pour in billions of dollars into their experiments with no... So what is it going to do? We don't know. How long is it going to take? We don't know. What is the purpose? We don't know. Pretty interesting.
Kind of like Antarctica. All the countries coming together.
Exactly why next week we'll be talking about Antarctica, or one of the reasons for sure.
all they can tell you is we're trying to better understand the universe, which is the biggest bunch of crap I've ever heard. Listen, I will be the first to admit that CERN has changed everyone's lives with the advent of the World Wide Web. And they have made significant contributions to grid computing because they needed something to handle the massive amounts of data produced by their experiments. With their particle detectors, they have been able to open doors for advancements in imaging technologies used in medical diagnostics and security screening. Their special magnets have applications in medical devices like MRI machines and in the development of high-speed trains. They've contributed to the development of accelerator technologies used in various scientific and industrial applications, including materials science, radioisotope production, and cancer therapy. CERN has also developed specialized software and data analysis tools for processing and analyzing the vast amounts of data generated by particle physics experiments. But see, folks, these things are byproducts of what they've been truly working on, which is not only to understand the universe, but to control it. How do they do this, you ask? Through a seemingly magical process of transformation, creation, or combination. Alchemy. So here's where compartmentalization comes into play. Are you ready? Okay, now when you investigate the people, the minds behind CERN, see, it would be easy to figure out if everything was in one building with a few experiments run by a few people. But CERN is a campus with many buildings and many experiments run by many people, not just on the campus, but also in several other locations around the world. When it comes to an experiment at CERN, to find out what the experiment is all about, you have to investigate the person who conceptualized the idea. When it comes to the Large Hadron Collider, the LHC, we can start with Sir John Bertram Adams, who played a significant role in the conceptualization of the project, and physicist Luciano Maiani, who served as the Director General of CERN during the initial planning and construction phases of the LHC. Sir John Adams was a pivotal figure in the realm of particle physics, known as the father of the colossal particle accelerators that propelled CERN to the forefront of high-energy physics.
What was that?
Is it lagging for you?
Is it what for me?
Is it lagging, or is that just on my end?
No, it wasn't lagging for me.
Okay, it must just be my end.
Right.
His expertise as an accelerator designer, engineer, scientist, and administrator shaped the landscape of scientific exploration during his career. Now, during World War II, Adams contributed his talents to the radar laboratories of the Ministry of Aircraft Production, where his skills were instrumental in advancing radar technology, which at that time was crucial for the war effort. Following the war, Adams transitioned to the Atomic Energy Research Establishment at Harwell, where he worked on designing and constructing a 180 million electron volt synchrocyclotron. His groundbreaking work in this period laid the groundwork for his future contributions to the field. In September 1953, Adams joined CERN, which was the beginning of the era of advancements in particle accelerator technology. As the director of the Proton Synchrotron Division in 1954, at the young age of 34, Adams led CERN's monumental project to create the world's largest particle accelerator. a venture that would redefine the boundaries of scientific exploration. But John left that position to move on to other projects. So, from 1961 to 1966, Adams served as director of the Culham Fusion Laboratory, where his leadership created advancements in nuclear fusion research. His tenure on the board of the United Kingdom Atomic Energy Authority from 1966 to 1971 further solidified his reputation as a foremost authority in the field of nuclear science. In 1971, John Adams returned to CERN, assuming the role of Director General of Laboratory 2, which is what CERN was called back then. And this is where he took responsibility for overseeing the design and construction of the Super Proton Synchrotron Accelerator, the SPS. His tenure in this position lasted until 1975. From 1976 to 1980, Adams served as the Executive Director General of CERN, a position from which he played a role in securing approval for the Large Electron-Positron Collider project, the LEP. His commitment to scientific excellence and innovation left him with a legacy as one of the most influential figures in the history of particle physics. Now, according to a 2015 history paper by physicist Thomas Skorner-Sadnius, in 1977, Sir John Adams suggested building an underground tunnel that could accommodate a particle accelerator capable of reaching extraordinarily high energies. The project was not officially approved until 20 years later, in 1997. And this would kick off the construction for what we now know as the Large Hadron Collider, or LHC. But see, the question here is, what led Adams to this idea? What led to the idea of smashing particles in the first place? And for that, we have to go just a bit further back in time. The idea of smashing atomic particles together to study their fundamental properties and interactions dates back to the early 20th century. One of the pioneers in this field was Ernest Rutherford, a New Zealand-born physicist who conducted experiments that led to the discovery of the atomic nucleus. Rutherford's experiments involved bombarding atoms with alpha particles, which were used as projectiles. There was a scientist named Sir William Ramsay, who was a Scottish chemist who is best known for his discovery of the noble gases. He studied at the University of Glasgow and later at the University of Tübingen in Germany, before returning to Scotland to work as an assistant to the chemist Alexander Crumb Brown. One of Ramsay's most greatest achievements came in the late 19th century when he successfully isolated and characterized several previously unknown elements, including helium, neon, argon, krypton, and xenon. And those discoveries earned him the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1904. Ramsay's work on the noble gases was significant because it challenged the existing belief at the time that the periodic table of elements was complete. His discoveries, however, opened up new avenues for understanding the nature of chemical elements and their properties. Now, Sir Ernest Rutherford, who was at the time was referred to as the father of nuclear physics, he studied at the University of New Zealand before moving to England to pursue his graduate studies at the University of Cambridge. Rutherford is best known for his pioneering work on radioactivity and the structure of the atom. In 1909, he conducted the famous gold foil experiment, in which he bombarded a thin gold foil with alpha particles and observed how they were scattered. This experiment led to the discovery that atoms have a small, dense nucleus at their center, surrounded by orbiting electrons. Rutherford's model of the atom, known as the nuclear model, revolutionized our understanding of the atomic structure and laid the foundation for the development of modern nuclear physics.
I think when they say like they did the atomic structure and laid the foundations for development of modern nuclear BS, like what has this done? Literally nothing.
So, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1908 for his investigations into the disintegration of the elements and the chemistry of radioactive substances. Both Ramsay and Rutherford made significant contributions to the fields of chemistry and physics, and their work has had a lasting impact on our understanding of the natural world. But here's where things get interesting. Sir William Ramsay had actually achieved success in the artificial transmutation of elements through purely chemical manipulations, particularly through his investigations into the properties of gases. Together with his colleagues, they discovered that atmospheric nitrogen was not a pure element as previously believed, but rather it contained traces of a previously unknown gas. Through experimentation and chemical analysis, Ramsay successfully isolated this gas, which he named argon. Building upon this discovery, Ramsay continued his investigations into other inert gases, ultimately discovering helium, neon, krypton, and xenon. And these discoveries represented the first instances of artificial transmutation of elements through purely chemical means. This involved careful selection of starting materials and precise manipulation of reaction conditions to induce chemical transformations. By applying principles of chemical reactivity, Ramsay was able to isolate and identify new elements from complex mixtures. With analytical techniques such as spectroscopy and gas chromatography, Ramsay was able to identify and characterize the newly formed elements. These techniques allowed Ramsay to distinguish between different gases based on their unique spectral signatures and physical properties. His achievement in artificial transmutation of elements demonstrated the power of chemical manipulation. Ernest Rutherford, who I spoke of earlier, was able to do the same thing, but by using physical methods in 1919. Now, it's important to understand that at this time, there were other chemists and scientists observing the results that Ramsay and Rutherford were able to produce. So when they observed that Ramsay and Rutherford could use physical and chemical means for the transmutation of atomic elements, it confirmed their belief in alchemy. And one of these physical chemists was H. Stanley Redgrove. Redgrove was a proponent of Swedenborgism and theosophy. Swedenborgism refers to the religious and philosophical teachings based on the writings of Emanuel Swedenborg, a Swedish scientist, philosopher, and theologian and mystic. Swedenborgism is also known as the New Church or the Church of the New Jerusalem, a belief system that he claims was the product of divine revelation. And those writings cover a wide range of topics, including the nature of God, the afterlife, the spiritual meaning of the Bible, and the structure of the spiritual world. Redgrove, along with other theosophists and former members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, formed the Alchemical Society. Are you with me so far? Awesome. The Alchemical Society's goal, or agenda, was to re-spiritualize science. You see, physics, chemistry, alchemy, and money are all connected to the occult. And over the years and through this influence, guess what CERN is able to do? With their ISOLD facility, which is the isotope separator online detector, they can create gold out of thin air. Not many people know that. Actually, CERN can create about 70 of the 118 or so chemical elements that exist. Not many people know that. So now that we've come around back to CERN, you can further understand why there is so much occult symbolism present in CERN's infrastructure, including its logos, artwork, and building design. And so now we can take a more informed look at the occult symbolism and influence at CERN. You see, folks, Rosicrucianism draws heavily from the Hermetic philosophy, which is attributed to the figure Hermes Trismegistus, and emphasizes the idea of as above, so below. Hermeticism teaches that there is a correspondence between the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, the individual. And by understanding the hidden laws of nature, one can gain spiritual insight and power. And what does CERN always say that they are trying to understand? The universe. Rosicrucianism incorporates Kabbalistic teachings and symbolism, particularly in its understanding of the divine and the interconnectedness of all things, which is what CERN attempts to understand, the interconnectedness of all things. CERN studies the existence of a transcendent realm of pure being beyond the material world. This is called Neoplatonism, which is another key element of Rosicrucian magic. Rosicrucian magic is also based on the ancient art of alchemy. Here's something that may blow your mind. There are three main colors that you see used at CERN over and over again: red, yellow, and blue, and a little bit of green, right? Just like the Rosicrucian cross. Let me show you something. Take a look at CERN's CMS detector. Do you think it looks like this with these colors of red, yellow, blue, and green by accident? Compare the CMS detector to the Rosicrucian cross and the rose. Notice the symbolism of circle magic. If you think that is something, you haven't seen anything yet. Because this CMS detector design also looks eerily similar to the Rosicrucian Wheel of Nature. Listen to this. This comes from an old Rosicrucian manuscript called the Secret Symbols of the Rosicrucians. Look well at it. It is to thy good, and pondering over, thou wilt not rue it. Notice nature and its strength. Look at its great life power. From God it and all things spring, and return to their centers again. Friend, thoughtfully look at this mirror. See how nature is revealed. Always watch the inner center. Turn the outer spheres around it. Look well for the golden magnet. If thou findest it, thou wouldest get rid of thy sorrows. Study well the law, know thyself, that thou may not be deceived any more. Make known to thee terra sancta, so that thou mayest not go astray. Look at the CMS detector and how it is surrounded by 12 sections, which represent the 12 zodiac symbols in astrology. Again, folks, do you think this is an accident? Do you think all this is a coincidence?
Yeah, it's just a coincidence.
Actually, this manuscript has some pretty interesting interpretations of biblical scriptures, especially involving the mark of the beast. I don't want to spoil anything, but I have to say it's quite fascinating. Honestly, I'm not sure what to make of it, but it has something to do with Christ. I will say this. They interpret the number 666 to be 1,000 years, because 666 is 999 in reverse, plus 1. Here are a couple of screenshots, and you can make of it what you will. I'll also provide the link to this in the description box below. They also have an image of the book with 7 seals, opened. How they came up with that, I have no idea. But it does give you an idea of what some of the old secret societies believe in. I know it sounds weird, but when you think about it, what is considered by some to be a holy symbol, like the cross, the inverse of that, or an upside-down cross, would be an unholy symbol. So, I get it, but it doesn't mean that the Rosicrucians were right. So the question becomes, is CERN trying to better understand the universe, or is CERN trying to better understand magic, which they call particle physics? And what they are doing over there does seem like a bunch of high-tech witchcraft and state-of-the-art circle magic. So, as an attempt to further support this idea about CERN, let's take a look at how Shiva is connected to all of this.
That's a good place to kind of stop off. Great video. Check it out. Woodward TV, CERN and the Occult. But let's kind of go through a little bit more of these videos.
Trying to better understand the universe.
Oh, I'm hearing someone. I did want to Skywatch. Interesting people. They deny a lot of stuff, but they had this by Thomas Horn, this article, More Mystery Connections Between Ancient Demonic Gods and Entity-Connected CERN's Bothgrad-Based Tunnel Resurrection Efforts. Real quick, so this is that saint that the Saint Guinness was named after. Very interesting. It says the cult of Saint Genius is thought to originate from the cults of the Islamic jinn, demons, the Roman genius, or even an ancient Carthaginian site dedicated to Baal. And as is an Islamic belief, the jinn are beings made of smokeless fire that come from the Jizistan, another universe beyond our own. From a Christian perspective, the jinn might be viewed as fallen seraphim and extra-dimensional in nature. The genius in Roman mythology is the individual instance of general divine nature that is present in every individual person, place, or thing. And then one last thing, I was talking about this. The connections between Nimrod, Apollo, and Apollyon have been thoroughly researched, but there are a few more interesting details not commonly discussed. Apollo was worshipped by the Romans as well as the Greeks in the Maneres Indrid, a commune in central France. Apollo was equated with the Celtic god Atopomaris. These two characters were combined to create Apollo Prometheus, which can be translated as great horseman or possessing a great horse. In the Celtic belief, horses were closely related to the sun. The interesting thing is to note the connection between the idea of Apollo being associated with horses in France, where part of the CERN resides, and the Book of Revelation states about Abaddon. And it talks about that. So, kind of some weird connections there. Kind of what we were talking about. Okay, well, let me go there. Let's go ahead and skip that. Okay, let's check this out. This is from Metaphysical Montauk Project in CERN, Our Real Life Story of Stranger Things.
Metaphysical. I am your host, researcher Rob Counts, and with me, as always,
Let's skip ahead a little bit.
About 3 feet tall. It had little T-Rex arms, and it was kind of hunched over. This was weird. This is going to be real output, or we hear about the output more than like what it is. Like, okay, so check this out.
Right.
This is going to be really, really, really weird. Effing weird. And there's multiple witnesses on this to back me up. I had an experience, number one, with my son. So I was taking him to school one morning, and there was literally in front of us on the side of the road this little creature, about 3 feet tall. It had little T-Rex arms, and it was kind of hunched over, and it started to go across the road right in front of us. So there's a car in front of me. It's like this is in the desert.
John, are you sure this wasn't his first grade teacher? Because you just described my first grade teacher to me.
Oh my God. That was dude. I don't know, man. So this thing actually, it waited till the car in front moved, and then it started to step into the road, and I slowed down because I'm going to hit it, and its legs start moving so fast that they blur out. You know, like the Roadrunner cartoon.
Sure.
The legs blur out, and it shoots off down into this riverbed, and I'm like, what the?
Did your son see it?
Yeah, he's like, what was that? What was that? And I said, I'm just like, okay, tell me exactly what you saw so I know I'm not hallucinating. He told me. I mean, it looked like a chupacabra, right? Okay, so now check this out. I'm in the same area. We're driving home. I was at my sister's house. We were following, it was me, my son, my wife in the back seat. My parents were in a car in front of us. We were going back to their house, same location on the side of the road. There's this, it's like 12 feet tall, like big black creature with the longest, skinniest legs that were like 12 feet long before it hit the body. It was like a Salvador Dali painting. If you've ever seen the elephants with the long legs, it looked like that, except the body was just like this long black torso. And this thing was about 12 feet tall, like 8 feet long. And it was literally like, with its weird long legs stumbling around on the side of the road.
Like Slender Man or whatever.
Yeah, but it had 4 legs. It had 4 legs. It was like,
oh, this might have been a skinwalker.
I don't know what it was, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It looked like that, except it wasn't an elephant, and it was black.
Really?
Yes. And so I saw it. My son saw it. My wife saw it. My mom saw it. My dad saw it.
That's weird.
I get back to their house, and my mom, she's like, "Did you see that? Did you see that thing on the side of the road?" And my dad's like just trying to back away from it all, and she's all, "He saw it. He saw it. He never sees. I know now. He knows these things are real." Because my mom, and she's all into that kind of stuff, right? So I was like, I was floored. Unbelievable. We remote viewed that. So we remote viewed all of this to try to understand what was going on. Right in the
Remote viewing isn't a great idea, and that could open him up to many different things. What's super interesting about this real quick is how we were talking about skinwalkers and wendigos and chupacabras, and somehow it has a connection with CERN, but let's skip ahead.
I've been wondering since Stranger Things came out, like what technology was Stranger Things based on, or where did the story even come from? And actually, what people don't know is that there were multiple different operations and or projects that led to the stories that Stranger Things was based off of. And in today's episode, we are going to get into some of that today. And strangely enough, in Stranger Things, there is this idea of a portal with the upside down and opening up a door or a portal to some other dimension where a potential or many potential nefarious beings exist. I think it's Montauk Project is what the Stranger Things is based off of, but you can't really talk about Montauk Project until you talk about the Philadelphia experiment, because that's sort of like that, and the Manhattan Project and a few other things were all going on at the same time. And the Philadelphia experiment was one of the weirdest projects from that period, where I believe they were trying to cloak an entire ship. They were trying to create technology that would cloak a ship where the enemy could not see the ship. And they were using electromagnetics to try to achieve this, like radar sort of electromagnetics and waves, sound waves and things. And from my understanding, the project was a disaster. It was successful, but a successful disaster. And what's meant by that is, according to the stories that you can find yourself out there, they were successfully able to cloak or make an entire ship disappear. But when the ship reappeared, the small crew that was on the ship were basically melded into the ship entirely. Like they had kind of merged with the ship, and so it had, like, everybody just passed away, of course, and the ship was like this very bizarre kind of like situation that occurred from that.
Yeah, we viewed that. We viewed that.
And is that what you guys found when you viewed it?
So yeah, I mean, crazily enough, I would even use this as training.
I really can't trust this guy because of the viewing stuff. That really hurts my soul. But thanks for sharing. Okay, let's see. Where are we at on time? We got about 10 minutes left. Let's look at this. We'll close the rest of these. There's lots of good videos, man. They're not even close enough time to share them all. As you see, there's just so many that are talking about this exact thing. But let's end it with this one. I think this one has a lot of good information in it.
The Golden Gate for the Antichrist, because there was something significant in December 21st, 2012, which basically was a grand crossing. And each grand crossing represents the 8-pointed star. This you can find on the Mayan calendars, the Dendara map. You can see this on old ancient hieroglyphs. And
doesn't this right here, totally, the bottom left, the Mayan, doesn't that totally look like CERN? Like minus the face and that's exactly what they're going for. So weird.
Yeah, I still don't know what they're going for.
Their cosmic calendars, because this is what they go by. So Shamash was a god, Thoth's son, which Thoth is also Enlil, and his name is Shamash. He's also Marduk, Utu, which means iron, and the planet Mars. And his twin is Inanna, which is Venus, Ishtar, which is copper. And we know that Tubal-Cain was a smith, builder of iron and brass, which is copper in the Bible. And we know that Mars and Venus, which if Mars represents the sun and Venus represents the moon, and these two individuals are really the same being, but they represent the sun and the moon. The sun is 6 and the moon is 9, so this is where we get the 69. And each star has 8 points. So if you look up Shamash's name, his name is the 8-pointed star, and then 4 of them are waves, like electric waves. And if you look up Inanna's name, her name is also an 8-pointed star, also in hieroglyphs. Venus is the 8-pointed star in hieroglyphs, and so is Anu. And 369 does equal 88. 88 also means magic. And I translated 88, and it came out to maggot, and I said, what's maggot? I don't even know what maggot is. I went in and translated it from Latin into many different languages and trying to figure out, well, what does 88 mean? And it said it meant maggot. So I look up maggot, and maggot is used to define a concrete person and another defining a celestial entity. So half human, half entity, I guess. And then I looked more into the word to see what it meant, and it means magic. So 88 translates exactly to magic. And so the 2 pillars are the 2 mountains representing the 2 pillars on each side of the gate that want to merge, 2 8s merging into 1 8 to become male and female, dark and light, yin and yang. This is what the symbolism is that they're making. And we know that the 8 is the ogdoad. 8 represents the pyramid with the 8 sides, and 8 is the frequency of Saturn. And the 3 actually represents Saturn, 6 represents the sun, and 9 represents the moon. So that is your Trinity concept. And I can prove that because Om, I was looking into that chant that they do, which is Om, because Om also means 88. Om is 8, composed of 8 parts representing the ogdoad. Om is Shiva, the star in the crescent. It's Brahma and Vishnu. And if you look at old pictures of Brahma and Vishnu, you'll see the lotus flower, which Brahma is sitting on with his 4 heads, 4 faces representing the lion, eagle, ox, and man, because Brahma is Saturn. And his umbilical cord is stuck to Vishnu, which is Jupiter. So Om is really chanting to all of the 8 planets, including the sun and the moon, which is very interesting because when people are doing the yoga or they're doing the chanting and they're doing the Oms and they have these, they're going through the vibration of the chakras, each chakra represents a planet. And when you get to the crown chakra with this Om and this vibration, this is actually worshiping Satan. It's worshiping the gods of the dead. And these are the gods of the dead that these people worship. They're coming out of this tunnel, out of the abyss, and they're worshiping Lucifer. They're worshiping these gods of the dead, which are the ogdoad.
What we're witnessing is another part of the grand, great work, the overall awakening, as they would say, to the Luciferian awakening, welcoming in their deity and the dead. The year of light, which was in 2015, was ending in February 4th through 6th of this year, of 2016. They specifically ended it in Merida in the Yucatan Peninsula. I have been there before. And it was fascinating because what they did was they went out to the Chichen Itza pyramid. And I was going, what does this have to do with the year of light? And the Chichen Itza pyramid, of course, if you look at it, and I've been on top of the pyramid in Chichen Itza, it's a Mayan step pyramid, again, connecting us back to the Mayan calendar. It's also a pyramid without a capstone on it, if you look at it. So it also represents, in my way of looking at it, that they're now at the capstone aspect of their New World Order.
Stephen Hawking. So many good points were brought up in that, and see, it's all interconnected. We're talking about Apollo and Vishnu and CERN and the symbols they use and the 8-pointed star and the 12 segments. It's so intense. And so we come to the end. We're coming to the end now of the show, and we say, okay, well, what is it? What's going on? Oh, my camera. What is going on with my camera? It won't let me turn it on. Okay, there it goes. Let's get rid of this. So we're coming to the end. Looks like Marsha had to step away. It's okay, sister. Hope you're doing well. But we're coming to the end, and so what's the conclusion from all this? Well, the best conclusion I can really give everybody is nefarious things are there, right? And they are chock full of the occult and connections with sorcery and magic and unclean spirits and all these things. So what does that mean for our lives? And for me, really, I think it's nothing, really. They're doing something, but what it means to us is nothing. Meaning, I don't think they're changing our Bibles. They're not changing our books from Berenstain to Berenstein. They're not, some of these things are weird. Some of the Mandela effects, like Berenstein Bears to me was what I always remembered it, not Berenstain Bears. And so there are some interesting things, but I just think that people get, and maybe because it sells, right? And you saw how many demons destroyed, they're coming for us, the occult. And while all those things are maybe partially true, they definitely are the cult. They definitely had the mock sacrifice. They definitely have all of these odes to gods, and even in the place that they selected to build this thing. So what really is it? I don't know. I will give you what I believe what it is. if and this is pure speculation, I think this might be where the pit is, and I think he was given a key to the shaft of the bottomless pit. I think this could very much be where the bottomless pit is accessed. It's interesting that the locals had always believed for thousands of years that this place was a gateway to Hades or Sheol. I think it's interesting with the Marduk and the Stranger Things, the upside down world. They're opening up a portal. If that's a possibility, then they're opening, in my opinion, it'd be a portal to Tartarus, right? And maybe that is a part of the evil one's plan, is to slowly get these, demonic forces have a bigger presentation on Earth. Not really sure. What I will say, though, is you shouldn't be black-pilled about it. You shouldn't be afraid about it. Because whatever their plan is, even if it's the most evil actions, our Father in heaven will use that for His glory. And to me, it's not something you should be sweating about, something you should be fearful or worried about. And they definitely have technologies that we should be worried about, we should be knowledgeable about. But to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm too white-pilled. Maybe I need to get a little gray-pilled. But I'm just too white-pilled to really worry about these things. I think it's a very interesting topic, to say the least. So, what are your kind of final thoughts, Kyle, Robert, Marcia? Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, I guess I'll give my thoughts. I definitely think there could be some eschatological connections between CERN and the end times there. Like you said, it has absolutely zero bearing on our lives. I've never, read the little news report that said CERN is turning on their machine, and then the next day I felt the repercussions of it. Mm-hmm. And I don't suspect soon that will happen. And even on the day, if that were true and it does happen, there was no stopping it, and there was no changing it. It's as it was always supposed to be anyway. whether or not they're up to no good or they're just straight up trolling us like they would on the ISS, I can't be 100% certain, but either way, it's all deceptive, it's demonic, it's not where I'd put my money, and well, one way or another, a lot of money is going into that project. So they're doing something there or they're doing something somewhere else with it. So either way, it's not a good thing, but we shouldn't be afraid of anything that they're trying to do.
Yeah, because like something I said was, well, they're throwing billions of dollars at it, so it has to be for some reason. But we say that, but then we look at NASA, right? And NASA, we throw billions of dollars at them, and the reason is just to decay people's minds, is just to get them locked into this single line of, within this planet, and within the planet. And so, yeah, I think that could totally be a possibility too. But at least NASA doesn't have so much upfront occult stuff to it, like other than the names of their things, right? Like we don't hear about mock sacrifices at NASA. They probably do sacrifices at NASA. I'm just saying it's not as publicly, talked about, that aspect of it, which is just pretty interesting to me. What are your thoughts, Robert? What are your thoughts, Marsha?
Looks like Marsha's having some technical issues with Discord. So as you say, or they say, in the end we win, but that doesn't stop the enemy from trying to bust through the firmament, or trying to manipulate the underworld. Trying to beat Yahweh. In the meantime, but it can be scary, but then again, we know that we're going to come out of this on the right side, so I mean,
yeah, what's the worst they can do to us? Torture us and then unalive us? You know what I mean? Like, come on, we get forever after that.
Yeah, don't fear the one that can kill you, but fear the one that can kill both body and soul.
Absolutely. Good points there, Marsha. I don't know if you can talk. I know your video is giving you issues, but any last thoughts, sister?
Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, one thing that was mentioned in there that I thought CERN is I think it's all has to do with control. They want to control everything. I can't hear you, Vader. Oh, you're on. I'm on. Never mind. I'm a mess up, so I'm going to say goodbye, everybody. I can't figure what happened to me, but I was grabbled.
It sounds like you're from a different mic or something. I don't know, but
I can't use what I was using. It just messed up. So I'm from a
Marsha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Even so many things, but I think you brought up a lot of good points. You brought up some good points. I think that it's definitely nefarious. It's definitely dark. They have it painted that way. They have, they don't bring the goddess of love, right, at CERN, or the goddess of knowledge. They literally bring the god of destruction and creation. And so it kind of gives you an idea of what their aim is after, if at least what they say they're doing is anywhere remotely true. But I was talking real quick, and then we'll say our goodbyes. But is it really shocking to us? Like, for instance, the Olympics, right? Horrible, crazy imagery, things going on at the Olympics, right? But does it surprise us that the Olympics have pagan rituals? Should it? They're literally Olympic. It's literally a pagan collection of countries that came together to do these games, which, if you look into, were pretty gross and pretty not cool. So does it surprise us that they have these weird rituals every Olympics, that they do these satanic witchcraft, sorcerer, no, it really shouldn't surprise us. But it is a good indication that we can see these people, they're not who you want to believe to those seeking to have the scales removed from their eyes. But yeah, it was a fun episode, minus Circle of the Earth not allowing us to stream there, but we're allowed to stream on Take on the World the exact same content. Don't understand that. They must have clicked on CERN, and then it just messed it all up, and CERN's still on. That's why the other channel's messed up. But hope y'all enjoyed, minus the grabbles. Let's go ahead and say our goodbyes and get out of here. We'll throw it to you, Marcia. You're back on.
I'm back. I'm sitting here poking buttons all over the place. So anyway, yes, it was an interesting thing. And CERN is back at us now. Now you're going to make me look into CERN a little more again.
Yeah. Cool.
I put that in the back of my brain for a while.
Yeah.
But I think there's still some interesting things to get out of it.
Yeah, because really we haven't figured anything out, right? It's all pure speculation. Who knows if we ever will? Maybe that's part of it. They created this thing for us to look into that's nothing. Maybe they're down there playing Chutes and Ladders. Who knows? All right, well, let's thank you for being here, sister, despite your health stuff going on. Make sure everyone says a prayer for Marcia in these coming days, coming weeks, as she kind of tries to figure out what's going on. Thank you for that. Let's jump over to you, Robert. Kind of final thoughts and your goodbye, sir.
No, just I guess as Marcia said, CERN ain't gone away yet. Even though nothing has happened, we haven't shrunken into a black hole or anything. So that's a good thing. So so see you guys all next week.
Next week, yeah. Next week we'll be talking about Antarctica, another black hole of information. But we'll still have some interesting stuff to talk about. So see you then, Robert. Last but not least, Kyle, closing thoughts. Oh wait, did you go first?
Yeah.
You did, but I'll let you say your goodbyes.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me here. Great episode. Everyone, have a good night.
Indeed. All right, guys, we are out of here for tonight. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. Thank you for any supports over on Lighthouse. And until next time, remember that Abba loves you first. Good night, everybody.
Fill up your land.